Welcome to Amazon Legends, where we have real stories about making it big on Amazon. Our guests are CEOs of large companies and entrepreneurs who became power sellers, also providers specializing in helping sellers, aggregators that acquire sellers, and former Amazonians will give us an insight from behind the scenes. Here is your host, Nick Urison.
Welcome to another episode of Amazon Legends. My next guest today she has built a private label on Amazon, and she's a distributor of toys and baby products. And today she is the founder of AZ Rank, that syndicates user-generated content for listings not only on Amazon, but most online marketplaces. And when she's not working, she likes gardening and traveling. In fact, we scheduled our recording and she had to push it back because of her travels. So she's a serious traveler. So with that, everybody, meet my guest, Alina Vlaic. Welcome to the show, Alina.
Thank you. Hello to everyone. I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, well, happy to have you. So I hope you were traveling somewhere nice.
Yes, it was nice. It was Greece, actually.
All right, cool. Yeah, I love traveling. It's also my hobby. So tell me something you're doing very well right now.
Well, the answer to that would be content, but content in unusual and underutilized places.
Give us an idea of what those unusual and underutilized places.
Well, the first one I would mention is the Q&A section, questions and answers on Amazon. Not a lot of people know. When I say people, of course, I'm talking about Amazon sellers and brand owners know that the Q&A section actually allows sellers to answer buyer questions using a video. When when a buyer posts a question on Amazon, if another buyer answers it, well, that's fine. But also the seller has the option of answering that question. And that option for the seller, only for the seller, is text and video. It's not or, it's and. It's text and video. And if you put a video in there for every question you get on your Amazon product display page, it's going to be like tens and tens of videos that people can watch and then find out more about your product. You can be creative, you can explain why they should buy your product and so on. Okay,
so you in a very subtle way, you introduce two different things, really. So it's under the umbrella of Q&A section. You also introduce the use of video. So
yes.
What I'm hearing is what people are underutilizing is the questions and answers and use of videos. And of course, what you are doing is combining the two, right?
Yes,
okay.
for the halo effect of that.
Okay, so fine, I understand now. And what I want to do is, for our listeners, I want to set up our conversation so they know what we're going to talk about. So for everybody listening, we're going to get into this very heavy in terms of best practices. What are the best ways to utilize this entire Q&A section, high level, and then we'll get into the details of what are some best practices of building that Q&A section, and what kind of questions, and most important, what kind of answers and how to utilize those answers, how to add, since you are the expert in user-generated content, that how to leverage UGC in this whole process. So we'll cover it all, and this is going to be a blast because the return on this effort is huge, right? It doesn't cost any money. Nobody is paying any clicks or anything like that, right, Alina?
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's jump right in. So let's start from the beginning. I just published my listing,
Yes.
and I don't have anything. It's brand new listing. So how do we get this Q&A business started?
Well, first of all, the way most people do it, most listings have like organic questions. If somebody actually asks a question, but those come up pretty rare, let's say. It's not very trendy, let's say, to have a lot of questions, organic questions on your listing. So you can ask the help of a friend or somebody you know to post a question on your listing. It's a little bit, you know, going outside of the exact 100% correct rules, but it's nothing like, I don't think the TOS even mentions that you're not allowed to post more questions, because you don't do anything wrong. Basically, you just offer more information to the buyer, right, to the customer. And Amazon's efforts are all about the customer and the customer experience, right? So first thing and the easiest way to go would be to ask a friend or several friends, actually. My recommendation is, and this is very important, do not ask the same friend to post 10 questions. Ask 10 friends to post each of them a question, because, you know, it might trigger something. I've never seen it happen, but you know, it's better to take this safety measures in the first place. So we have some friends and we have some questions. Of course, you will tell them the questions or the idea of the question. So what exactly are you trying to tell more to the customers about your listing, right? Now, here come the questions. You have them and you have your emails in your email box. Hey, you got a question on your product. Do you want to answer it? You get that as the seller, right? Now, when you open that page in your Amazon, you will see a written answer. So you have the possibility to answer with a written text. So a text, a regular answer like everybody has. And right below, it's a video. It says, answer with a text or upload a video. You can do both, actually. And again, this is very important. And this is like a very, let's say, a trick or a tip or something. The text you use in that answer, use keywords in them, especially if you have keywords that you are not indexed for. That place is one of the places in Amazon, front end and back end, that helps you index your keywords. And I'm gonna make a little parenthesis here and tell you, for example, sellers selling adult products, CBD, all kind of those tricky categories where you have difficulties with getting your keywords indexed, can make use of this space to get their keywords indexed. And it works. Maybe it won't work from the first question, but if you do another one using the same keyword, or the third one, I'm guaranteeing it will work. We do this with our other services all the time. So that's one thing. Use the text. Don't go all the way below and go directly to upload the video, because again, it's an underutilized section. If you have it there, use it, and especially if you can add keywords to it. After that being done, when you finished your answer and you put all the good keywords in there, you can upload your video. Now, how you get your video would probably be your next questions, right? You can do it yourself. For example,
Hold on,
okay.
Slow down. I know that this is what you do every day, but I want to make sure that our listeners get the main point, because you said a few very important things. So first of all, number one, where do the questions come from? So you have to be careful with manipulating this in a way that Amazon will consider it not delivering value for the shoppers, because Amazon cares about delivering value. As long as you're delivering value to shoppers, they don't mind. Fake reviews don't deliver value.
Right.
Questions, if asked in a meaningful manner, deliver value. So there's nothing wrong with doing this. But at the same time, the questions, the structure of the whole Q&A module is customers ask questions and they get their answers. So if you are asking yourself the question, now you're doing something wrong, right? So that's not okay. So make sure that you do not post questions yourself. That's the first rule. You get friends, family, or whoever. And when I say family, again, I am referring to family that do not share the same computer and the same IP number as you. It's somebody
very
elsewhere, right? It's somebody elsewhere that cannot be connected to you. That person does not use your Amazon account in any way whatsoever. Do not ask employees who log into your Seller Central to post questions. These are all important things where, because Amazon does not know the person logging in. All they have is the electronic footprints. And they have a very good way of tying the electronic footprints together and saying, this is the same entity. So make sure you are asking people that have nothing to do with your business or your household, so to speak, and get them to post the questions. Now, you can craft those questions yourself and give it to them. That's okay. Or you give them the general idea and let them put it in their own words. That's okay.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Just
so
the idea.
That's the first thing. So have I left anything out here that
No.
you know is
All right,
cool. Okay. So now the second very important point here, and this is where you're getting the benefit. The whole question and the answer piece, it gets indexed. So this is another place for you to get indexed for keywords that are not, that you're not indexed for, or that you want to really emphasize on, because it's all getting into the Amazon algorithm and getting you indexed and everything else. So that's the second thing. And as far as the post answering this question, the third point that I picked up is you have text or video. Use both. Don't waste that question. Since it's there, answer it with text and video, right? So that's the third point. So for some reason, I'm thinking you said one more thing, one more important point, or I may be wrong. Does that kind of cover?
Yes, I think what I mentioned was that besides helping you index like general keywords, maybe you were thinking about the forbidden keywords that I was mentioning for some special categories.
Let's explain that one more time. So how do you deal with the forbidden keywords?
So, you know, we call them forbidden keywords, basically starting from the PPC guys, because they're not allowed to do PPC on those keywords. If we're talking CBD, if we're talking adult products and some supplements also. So there are certain categories on Amazon where you are not allowed to do advertising on keywords. Now, if you're launching a new product and you're not allowed to do advertising, how would you get it ranked, right? So besides all the other ways that you can rank, this is a way that is basically free. 90% of the situations it actually works, maybe with a little bit more effort sometimes, and you need to insist more, but you just take those forbidden keywords and you put them into some questions and some answers, and then you get them indexed. And after you get them indexed, you can start other ways of ranking them, ranking your product on them besides PPC, because you're still not allowed.
So Alina, I have a question on the forbidden keywords. So I mean, we understand there are some products that Amazon does not want advertised, or some keywords not used, but also how about other brands? Like if you want to, first of all, I never recommend anybody to get their listing index for known brands. Because if somebody is searching specifically that brand and you come up, then what are the chances of getting any traffic? However, when it's a Q&A section, that's a different story, right? Can you also put other brands there and still get indexed?
Yes, as long as the question doesn't sound, isn't it right that this product is better than X brand? So you don't want to manipulate that question or that answer into a way that can be seen broadly. I mean, open with your open eyes that it is manipulation. Just ask, how is this one better than the other? And then the answer can come naturally. Okay, and this point, the other one is better than this one, but look, this one has some other, stuff like that. Try to keep it natural, but yes, it works. Again, not a general rule. You know how Amazon algorithm is, not a 100% success, but yes, it works. And I haven't seen any issues with that so far.
Yeah. So one of the things that I always do is using these brands, other known brands, is a good way to mention them is, unlike such and such brand, our product does this. So now you've used their name, and at the same time you created a contrast without really using.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah. I typically, my clients ask me, can we say the best and the most? And I say, look,
No.
Do not use adjectives in your content. Adjectives don't go anywhere. The moment that people read those, since they know that this is your product, it doesn't say anything to them. Just state the facts, and those facts should stand alone, and therefore make your product appear better. Yeah, so that's why, saying unlike blah blah, our product does this, that, or saying better, I usually say try to avoid those. There is one thing that I recommend is the use of the word premium or luxury. Those things they don't really, what I like about use of those words is they create the perception right off the bat that don't expect anything cheap here. This is a different kind of item. So anyway,
actually,
it's a
on top of that, best. So the word best is one of the words in the forbidden. It's not a keyword itself, but it triggers the algorithm.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So now we can move on to the video part. So tell us about the video. What is, I'm big with videos, making them, using them, and scripting them, and things like that. So what is the ideal length of a video that you want to use in the Q&A section?
Well, we have tested several lengths, starting anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes tops. So this would be the range I would stay in. Now, it depends a lot on the product. If you have a product with 1 million accessories and you ask how to use it, it might be difficult to explain in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If it's something that is plain or the question is more simple, you don't have stuff to talk about in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So you have to be the people reading those questions and watching the videos are actually trying to find the answer to that question. So as long as you keep it real and concise and the content is what they're expecting, so you have to meet their expectations in terms of actually answering their question, you can stay anywhere between these tiers. Of course, yeah, you can try. Each product is different. I always say that each category is different. You don't have too much to lose if you answer like with a longer video. Okay, it's still gonna be there. You can maybe pose that question again 2 months from now and try a shorter one. There's a lot of A/B testing in this part as well. So long story short, anywhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes should do the job, and try to answer the question in the first 10 or 15 seconds of the video, because otherwise the people may not stay or may not go further and watch the rest. They usually like to see the information they came for in the first part of the video, and then watch more details about the product, or more explanation or uses or stuff like that.
So Alina, when you are creating these, so first of all, these videos you're creating, this is just a straight iPhone or Android phone deal with a smartphone. You take the video and you use that, right? We're not talking about anything special, right?
It's not professional. That's why it's called user-generated content. So these videos are actually made like taking a real example, a life example. So a buyer, an Amazon customer, purchases your product, takes it at home, does the unboxing or whatever. The video can actually be with the unboxing as well. But anyways, after that, they're just using their phone or their computer camera. Usually it's the phone though, and film themselves explaining about the product, or depending on what the question is, and then provide the video to you. I mean, this is what we do, but in your situation, you can either do it yourself, or again, a friend or a family do the same thing. Basic. I mean, yeah, it should be a clean video. You should look at a little bit like the resolution and everything to look nice. But it's nothing studio, it's not professional, it's not edited, it's just pure, genuine content. And we've seen in the last year and a half that this type of videos are very, very much preferred to the studio, Midjourney, AI, all kind of stuff, all kind of that. Regarding this, I'm not saying those are not good, those are very good, but in our situation, when you talk to the people, they like to see this kind of videos.
Yeah. So we're talking specifically about the videos to be used in the Q&A section. So shoot these videos yourself, or have your family members shoot it, use a phone. Now, of course, you don't want a professionally created video, but make sure that your video has good quality, right? Otherwise, they won't pay attention. It's just like listening to the radio, so to speak. If there is distortion, you're going to change the station because you can't understand what it says. So it's exactly like that. So make sure that it's good quality, HD, and the audio is good, so that way it's going to come across authentic. Just as I was thinking, as you know, Amazon has these badges for different sellers, like small businesses one, and I hear that there are like many badges, but small businesses preferred usually. How do you feel about people, the owner of the business, speaking about the product in that video after answering the question, rather than showing the product itself or showing whatever the question is associated with? Also speaking, because these days a lot of people are speaking on camera. What do you think about that? Have you tested that?
I did that for my own products, and I am a very strong believer in that. I would totally recommend. The problem is that not a lot of people want to do that because, maybe people recognize them, or they don't want to tell the other sellers what their brand is if they're a little bit famous in the industry, stuff like that. I've seen all kind of those situations. But usually, to answer your question, yes, I think that's very important. You create the connection with the buyer, and that's very important nowadays. I mean, in my opinion, we should use all the bits and pieces that people might listen to us now and say, Q&A section, I don't even know what that is, or I don't even know what's that for, what can you use it for. Every little piece of that product display page on Amazon, which you can use, and again, the backend, which you can still use, and it's free. Probably it's not going to be free for long, the way Amazon goes these days, but you should use it because it's there for a reason. And as long as you do that, you can leverage your competitors. Of course, if you have yourself or myself as a brand owner talking about your product directly to a consumer, I think it's huge if people are comfortable doing that.
I have something important for all my listeners. Sellers lose money on lost or damaged inventory with Amazon, which can add up to a lot over a year. Did you know that there is a way to claim all your losses? Getida is the global leader in Amazon FBA auditing and reimbursements for Amazon FBA sellers worldwide. They deliver results with no upfront costs. They get paid only when you get paid. Visit www.getida.com/legends to learn more and sign up. And thanks to our friends at Getida, your first $400 in reimbursements will be free. That's www.getida.com/legends, and that's www.getida.com/legends. Yeah. Okay. So this is, I just thought about it, and I'm glad that you did this, and speaking from experience, that says a lot. And everybody listening, do this. I'm in big favor of this. Now, the point is, introduce yourself in the video, and you can show the product and everything, and then just turn it over to yourself and say, and introduce yourself and blah blah, and talk about it. Don't pitch the product. Talk about the product. Don't pitch it. Don't say best. Don't use adjectives. The other thing, I always say this when it comes down to video, anything on camera, make sure your lighting is good, because you don't want to look like a ghost when you're doing it. So it may look okay on the screen, but check it out. So make sure that you look good and presentable, and at the same time introduce yourself and then talk about the product. So I think that's a good thing. Okay, cool. So how about user-generated content that are not necessarily on Amazon, but people post about your product? For example, your influencers can create those. Is there a way to utilize those in this Q&A section?
No, in the Q&A section, I mean, it has to be relevant for a specific question in order to post a video made by an influencer or made by us or somebody that has done this especially for a reason. But there is another underutilized section on Amazon that you can use those in, and those are it used to be called related videos. Now it's called videos about your product. So below the A+, there's a line of videos called videos about your products, or your product videos. So if you haven't seen that, and again, a lot of people just scroll past it without even noticing, that is showing on your product page. So people scrolling, for example, to get to the reviews, they see that, they see those, and they might stop at those. And the funny thing is, if you don't put your videos in that section, your competitors will, for sure. You can go right now and check it out and see that if you haven't put any videos there, except for the videos you have in the reviews, all the others are competitors, because they don't sleep, right? Competition never sleeps. So again, content that you have can be free or it can be cheap, doesn't have to be professional. Again, genuine videos, I recommend using that section as well. If I can just go back one, I just remember something for regarding the Q&A videos, which was very important. The Q&A, these Q&A videos show above the reviews, mobile and desktop also. So people scrolling to check the reviews, because everybody goes down to check the reviews, they just stumble upon those videos, and that's why these type of actions, these videos in particular, can very much help you and increase your conversion, because people actually, they go into them.
Yeah, we like to watch videos, right? So people, we look at pictures, but we like to watch videos. And in fact,
Yes, and
those
it's right
videos,
there. I mean, you don't have to look for them. You just, you're going for the reviews to see what other people have said about this product, but then you come across a video and say, okay, let me watch this. What's this about?
yeah. So talk about the videos. That there is something else also here that you just mentioned, and this is recent. So as a brand owner, you are allowed to upload videos as part of your listing content. So as long as you are on brand register and you're approved, that's what you can do. So you can upload several videos. Now, those videos used to appear where your image stack was. So you have the main image, and then on the left-hand side, you had that image stack, the small thumbnails, and then as you do a mouse over, of course, the main picture changes based on which one you are going over. And if you select one, blah, blah. And then right at the bottom, you have that video icon that you would click, and then it would start playing the video in a window. But on the right-hand side, down the side, you would have a list of videos. That's no longer the case. That's gone. I don't see that anymore. Do you? I mean, do you see it? Because what I see now is there is only one video. And that video is the main video, the first video you upload.
Yes.
The video icon immediately starts playing it. But the rest of the videos you upload appear exactly the location that you just mentioned, right underneath.
But if you click on one of the videos underneath, you can see on the right-hand side all of them.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
I didn't notice the thing you said with the main video. That's interesting. It's new. Yeah, I didn't know about it.
The main video, the wherever you have those images, there is only one video there. When you click on it while you're watching it, in fact, what happened was we've done 2 videos for a client. We've done 2 videos. We did the main promo video, and then we created an unboxing video, and we uploaded both, and they got approved. And we go to the product page, and we see the first video, and we don't see the second video. And we go back and look at it, and it says approved, because as you know, Amazon doesn't approve. And sometimes even with pictures, anything that's approved, it doesn't show up. So it doesn't show up. So we then start playing with the phone. Of course, we're looking at it on the desktop. We start playing with the phone, and it showed up on the phone. In fact, there were other pictures also. That's a whole different discussion. The image manager doesn't work properly. If you use the feed, doesn't work. It's a whole different discussion. But even some of the images that didn't show up on the desktop, they were showing up on the phone, and even better quality. So at that point, we realized that those additional videos appear at the bottom under the heading uploaded videos.
Yes.
So it's an interesting thing that Amazon is playing with. So, but what I heard you mention is if you don't put videos there, your competition's videos will appear there.
Yes, because you can upload these videos yourself as a brand owner, but somebody else can upload video onto your listing. Some of them might not get approved, but your competitors may try that. And also, if they, there was a thing, but I'm missing it right now. So there is a way the competitors can get their videos there other than directly uploading that. I think it's with if they target your ASIN into the PPC as direct target, like into a specific campaign, then the Amazon sees those 2 relevant, and sometimes they cross the videos. But I mean, from what I've seen from our clients, the competitors just go onto your listing, hit the upload button, and they upload videos up there, because it's a free place for content, and content is expensive nowadays. It's getting more and more and more expensive for all marketplaces. This section is free, and you can upload there, I don't know, I think 30-ish videos, all talking about your product or your brand or several others. Or for example, we do comparison videos, like my product compared to my competitors. And again, unlike my competitor, blah, 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 right? So you have to be creative, all kind of that sort of ideas you can put in practice and use that section for.
So there is also Amazon posts, right? So there is the feed.
That's a whole different discussion.
Yeah, so there is the feed, but also the feed appears there as well, right?
The feed from Amazon posts, where into the uploaded videos?
It's the brand, because as you use those posts, they become a feed, and then that feed appears right at the bottom, right?
Correct. Yes. Amazon post is getting more and more and more valuable, literally by the day. It's going to be, I think, by this time next year, it's going to be huge. Yeah. Because, you know, it's the power of the image, is the power of visuals, and it's still free. Again, another underutilized section of Amazon.
Well, Amazon posts is something that producing it is free. And then also, if you combine it with Amazon Live, and there's all these different cross utilization of these individual features. And again, I don't quote me on this, but as far as I know, under the product page, right at the bottom, that area is filled with stuff that is related to your product. If it's not your own content, it's coming from your feed or your videos, then somebody else will fill it, because it's real estate that Amazon is utilizing.
Exactly. It's like the same thing, exactly like you said, the magic word, real estate. It's like the virtual bundles, right? Maybe they don't sell that much, but it's real estate when you open it and they cover half more page. So why not have them? Yeah.
Okay. So as far as these Q&A, what else can you share with us that people can leverage? Like, are there any ways to use hashtags and things like that, or not?
I haven't found any to be very, very like worth mentioning. But what I can tell you, and I strongly recommend everyone to do, we started doing this recently. All these videos that we create for brands, or the videos you create for your own brand, just throw them on TikTok also. Again, you never know. It on TikTok, it just takes one video to go viral, right? So all that content, even if it's not TikTok style, right? TikTok has a certain style. You can play with them if you wanna, if you're passionate about video editing, can play with them and transform them a little bit. Where if not, just throw them there. We've seen cases where they went, they did well. Use hashtags. Have your own TikTok page, of course. Mention it and start growing the presence there. Again, TikTok, I know everybody knows it's huge. It's going to be even bigger than that the next year. So as long as you have it, why don't use it?
Mm-hmm. So why only TikTok? Why not put it on other social media?
Of course, any other place. I'm saying TikTok because right now it's like the #1 place to be, let's say.
Yeah.
Now, YouTube is also, but you know, YouTube has its own audience. It's a little bit more different. You cannot put them on Instagram. You can put them on Facebook. If depends on each brand and how is it. But for TikTok, it's kind of the platform of the moment, let's say.
Yeah. And when you post these videos or other content about your listing, what is your call to action? Are you asking people to come to the listing or purchase or offering a deal, or what are you doing there? Or are you doing nothing?
You're asking about when you post them on someplace else other than Amazon, right?
Yes.
Yes. No, I'm not saying come visit or check this out or stuff like that. I'm just trying to make like catchy, very short line about the product itself, what it does. For example, I don't know, microphone that resists underwater, or stuff like that, that draw your attention, and it's specific about that product, not the blah blah thing. And then of course relevant hashtags that come along.
But okay, so I am somebody, I just come across that video, I watch it, then what do I do with it? Okay, fine,
yes. So if the person that posted has a big enough account to add a link, because not everybody can add a link onto that post, then yes, we do the attribution link, because it's the easiest way. If not, we just mention the brand name, and that's pretty much it. They can, I mean, if they're really interested, they can find it. There's again, it's a different conversation. There are brands that own a TikTok shop, so then you can put the link from there. You can connect the post. You can mention that particular shop into the post. So it's a lot of them. It's like trying to connect that post with the brand page as better as possible. So that depends a lot on the person who's posting.
Yeah. I mean, this is the part that I always want to hone in on at the end of the day, because all this exposure that you're trying to get for your video, you want to get something out of it. And if you don't ask people to do something at the end of the video, then it's all wasted. So that call to action, or CTA, has to be part of every exposure. That's the way I try. So there's two different scenarios you mentioned. Some accounts do not have the right to put a link, some do. So first of all, those who do have the right to put a link definitely utilize the attribution tags and the brand referral bonus program.
Yeah.
So for those, just quickly, since we mentioned, I want to just cover it. You have to be on brand registry. If you are, go to your brand's menu and sign up for brand referral bonus program. It's free to join. You will be immediately approved, and then you'll be in the brand referral bonus program. Then move over to attribution, and that's under your advertising. Again, only available for brand registry sellers. And create an attribution tag for each channel, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. That's the way I organize it, but you can do it campaign by campaign. Create a separate tag and then make that tag part of your link. So now what that will do is when somebody watches that video and clicks on that link and comes to your page and then makes a purchase, that will be reported as a sale that came from that video or that particular channel, and you will get up to 10% of the total sale from Amazon credited directly into your settlement report. So it's a no-brainer. It doesn't cost any money, but as a brand owner, you have the right to do that. So for those who don't have the right to have a link, just put a little caption under it and say available on Amazon. You can put your ASIN, mention your ASIN, and people
Or
these days, or your brand name, of course. And that way you have a way to drive business, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, I want to cover it for everybody because people leave this part out. You know, they get excited making these videos and then posting and okay, we're live, blah, blah. And the next thing is, you know, people don't know what to do with it. And in fact, I came across a it's the famous product everybody uses as example, garlic crusher. So I came across the thing. It was a cool thing. It was a little thing, and I thought, oh, this sounds cool. So I'll buy this. Now I had to go search, go dig into profiles. You want to make it easy for people, right?
Yes, true. Yes,
So,
I would say the videos don't have a call to action at the end, because these were made like either for the questions or for the related videos. I said, okay, let's just throw them on TikTok as well. But of course, if you want to go, and you should go deeper into that and create special videos for TikTok if possible. Of course, it has to be.
Yeah. It's all leveraging user-generated content. So there's nothing wrong with using content you created for this Q&A section and then posting it to your channels on social media and putting that link in there. There's nothing wrong with that.
Of course.
Just don't use those in when you post it on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, great conversation, Alina. Is there anything else that you can share with us about this underutilized?
It's so I don't know. It's Amazon. It's so it gets overwhelming sometimes. I think we covered pretty much everything. I mentioned the related videos or the uploaded videos, the Q&A, throwing them on TikTok, attribution links. I think that's pretty much it for this particular piece.
For this particular, this is pretty much it. So videos, use as many as possible. There is one thing that I will mention just for those who listen up to this point. I want to share something, nothing to do with videos. It's just another underutilized or not even utilized way to do it. Go to Google and then set up your Google My Business.
Oh, yes.
And then in Google My Business, you can create an event for your product. It could be the launch, it could be the relaunch, it could be the introducing a new video or whatever, and just create an event and then link it, because they're going to want an event, a link for the event, link it to your product. Now, anytime you create that, Google will want to index it ASAP, because events are time sensitive and they don't want to be late. So that's one way to utilize Google My Business to drive traffic directly from Google to your listing. And don't forget, create the attribution tag so that any business that comes from that, you're getting extra money from Amazon. So that's I thought I wanted to just put that in there as a bonus conversation.
Yes,
so Alina, I love these underutilized, it's Amazon is an ocean and they keep creating these things. I don't even know if those who create these features think that, people are going to take this much advantage of it. So I want to get to know you a little bit. Take us back to your beginnings. Tell us, where did you grow up, and share with us your life experiences, my favorite part of the show.
Okay. So I was born and I'm still living in Romania, which is in Eastern Europe. Old country, a lot of history. Former communist country until 1989. I grew up here, went to school here, and then still living here, but discovered this part of the business. What I can say is that when I was like 9 years old, when the revolution happened, when Romania went out of communism, I was 7 years old. So I don't remember too much, but I do parts of how it was before. But after that, everybody was like trying to live different, trying to, get access to stuff, how communism was, the regime. And then my father, who has an entrepreneur mind, and set up as a human being, he started his first business, which was a kind of a grocery store. But at that point, because everybody had money, but we didn't have what to spend it on, the grocery store that he opened was had only two products to sell: coffee and sparkling water. And the line was 3 blocks away because people didn't have any place else to buy coffee and sparkling water. That I remember perfectly. And I started working into that business since I was 9. So I was literally selling at the desk. Then when the business grew and we had more products, of course, after a couple of weeks, I started doing kind of basic accounting stuff, like introducing all those doing paperwork and stuff like that. So that was my beginning as an entrepreneur, let's say. And then my parents eventually closed that down and opened a printing house, which was also family-owned business, and I actively worked into that one as well during college. And then now I'm here doing also brands on Amazon and services and all that. So I think it's kind of everything that happened in my adulthood is connected to that part, when I started to see how it is to work for yourself and how it is to, to make things happen actually, and not just be on a 9 to 5 job. I had that also, but probably it's because of who I am and how I am. My job was never 9 to 5. My job was 9 to 9 or 9 to midnight or 9 to whatever, because I always liked to over deliver, try to know everything and do it as good as possible. I don't recommend that too much because it can get you burned out. But I was younger then and had more energy. But yes, other than that, so we have a business here in Romania. We have our own brands on Amazon. We started in 2017 on Europe, on Amazon, on European marketplaces. I'm not currently selling on European marketplaces, but working on it for coming back in 2024. Our brands are on the US, and we have the services, the EasyRank and all the other things that we do, which pretty much cover 24 hours of our day. And I have 2 kids, boy and a girl, and I think that's pretty much it.
Well, it's so strange to hear somebody, because when you ask somebody who grew up in the US, okay, tell me about your childhood, tell me about your life experiences, and they say, oh, my father did this and my mother did this, and I started working here, working there, and that's usually what they say. And nobody starts saying, well, it was a communist country, and then there was this, and then nobody could buy anything, there were no stores. I mean, this kind of a life experience you don't hear anywhere, and people obviously in developed countries, people take it for granted, the life. Of course they have problems. I mean, everybody has problems. Everybody's problems are important problems. When you compare them and the kind of experiences that they create. I had another guest, he was from Ukraine, and was very smart, and he got into university, and this very good university, and they offered him to be in a class that's very hard to get in, but he had to stay after his classes were over and do another 2 hours. And his answer was, sorry, I can't do that because I have to take the train to go home, which takes 2 hours for me to travel. If I miss that train, so that's how far he lived. Every day he traveled 2 hours one way and then 2 hours back, 4 hours a day traveling just to attend that university. So the kind of struggles that people have, it's unbelievable. So and so as a 9-year-old kid, you tie your experience back to working in that store. But growing up, becoming as a woman, now you're becoming a woman, and what is going through your mind? Because you have the desire to start a family, and then you have also this experience that's kind of pushing you to do other things, and then the social pressure about getting a 9-to-5 job and make money. So tell us about what that struggle was like.
No, the social pressure wasn't there. So I always knew that I'm gonna be my own boss sooner or later. I always knew that. Now the jobs I had until that happened were just part of life. Like after college, immediately after college, had a job. But actually, my first job after college was in a very small company, and we did. It was international trade, so I learned a lot there. It was my best way to form myself for what was about to come. So I don't regret that. But everything kind of combined together. I met my husband. I was a buyer, he was a seller. So he was the supplier and I was the company buying the product. That's how we met, and we had our first phone call, and then things happened, life happened afterwards, but it was in the same scenario. So kind of the pieces of the puzzles eventually came as they should, I think. Right now for me, I don't see myself doing anything else than this. I don't even want to think about doing anything else.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of how to grow them, how to add more value, how to add more stuff, brands, services, stuff like that. So I think I'm in the right place, but maybe I'm one of the lucky ones that everything came eventually into the right place. That experience in the childhood for me wasn't bad, because that's why I say I don't remember too much before. I mean, before I was 7, when the communist regime was here. After that, when we got the store and everything, it was a happy life for me as a kid. It was, the struggles weren't mine, but myself remembering today when I'm 40, looking back when I was 9 and doing that, I'm trying to do the same with my kids, actually, to teach them, to try them to for them to learn to work, to appreciate the value of the work, of the money, and everything that comes to that, which is I think important for them.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's why immigrants' kids have the same kind of experience, because their parents, having had a major change in their life, how they live their lives, they try to pass it on to their kids. And in your case, it's the similar kind of experience as, obviously very different, but categorically it's the same, because the way you lived your life before completely changed after the communism ended. And then that taught you things in life, and then now you're trying to pass it on to your kids, and they're hearing straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak. It's authentic, value-driven, relationship. And but their kids, and then their kids, and that's where it starts to get a little bit lost. Well, it's a great conversation, Alina. Clearly unusual and underutilized, as we titled this at the beginning. And I hope that everybody listening will take advantage of it. So, Alina, how can people reach you? Share with us your contact information.
Yes, so I'm usually very responsive on all social media. If people try to message me, I'm everywhere under my name, which is Alina Vlaic, Vlaic. They can go, the easiest way is to go onto the AZ rank, which is azrank.com. And there's a contact form. Just message us whatever your problem is. And if you're going to mention that you listened to this episode and coming from Nick's podcast, we're going to have a special discount for you. I cannot name it, like 10% or 50% or something, because our services are very custom and very different, but I'm guaranteeing it's going to be a good discount for everybody. And even if it's not that, just say hi. I'm always happy to talk to people and share experiences in this crazy but beautiful industry we're all in.
Yes, thank you. That's very generous of you. And by the way, you are based in Romania, but you deal with US sellers all the time, right? So that's where,
Yes.
Yeah. So that's, these days, people who live in the US are leaving US. And, I do podcasts with born, raised here, selling here. They're in Thailand and Shanghai and in Bali. I had interviews from Bali. It's all over Mexico, you name it. So distance is no more what it used to be. Thank you, Alina. Great conversation. Thank you for your generosity with the discount, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Before we wrap up, don't forget to visit www.getida.com/legends to learn more and sign up to claim money for your lost or damaged inventory with Amazon. Your first $400 in reimbursements will be free. www.getida.com/legends, and that's www.getida.com/legends. Thank you. And this brings us to the end of another episode, and I'll see you in the next one.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the episode, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it too.